Hello, YouTube land! Check your clocks because it's amateur rubber time! Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we were still in court, we cross-examined Jake Marshall, and we confirmed some things. One is that the whole murder, the quote-unquote murder in the evidence room was fake. He was dressed up as Detective Goodman. And two, by doing so, by proving that that was fake, we just further put on suspicion on our normal defendant, Lana Skye, on the murder in the prosecutor's office with Detective Goodman. So I think we're still trying to find out a way that that can be false, that she's innocent. So I think that's what we're doing at that moment. Yeah, let's just continue. Load the save file, please. And, oh, what is this? Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. I don't know what they're talking about, but we'll just jump right in and see what they're talking about. Maybe. Oh, I think it's about a blood splotch on the locker or something like that. We'll see. Yeah, we'll just see. So, yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. Before I start, leave a like for Phoenix Wright, leave a like for the judge, leave a like for Edgeworth. It's also Mike Meekins, because he's the greatest. I like voicing my Mr. Meekins. He's pretty cool. I like it. Let's say, what could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Missing? I object, I guess. Objection. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. Ah, Edgeworth. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? Missing? You mean something that hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
Something that's missing in the floor plans? Okay, so we're looking for something that will be missing in the floor plans, but what? What will be missing? That, changes the blood splotch? Is that what that is? Yeah, that, the blue spot on the right, the second locker. What is missing? That's what we're looking for. Maybe something in the video will... I don't know. Oh, snap! Are you kidding me? Okay. I found what's missing. You know who it is. It's you, boy. Blue Badger. Oh, I forgot he was still there. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. Yeah, so? So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. He was covering the locker, so there couldn't have been a blood handprint. Well,
what?
That's right. So as long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
Got him. Yes.
So that means, just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in?
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
one time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Okay, we're learning something here. We're learning. So this was before, I guess, the handprint. Before Meekins even stepped in. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. Uh-oh, here comes the music. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall and was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
Oobadoo. Entered lot. No, what? So we're saying there was a murder before this murder, I suppose. Oh, I forgot I didn't have a lot of health. Here we go, 420. That'll do. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh, did the ID card record?
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Trump the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure it out that couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and then clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. It's that 7-7 number. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. 7 sevens. Yikes. That's gonna be a mouthful. Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I don't get it. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. To her own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SO9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Uh-oh. Lana, explain yourself. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of that prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. But, Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. So she's admitting to it. They didn't use legitimate evidence. No, that's bad for Edgeworth. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence. No. Don't say that. Oh, Edgeworth is gonna hit it hard. Not in defense, prosecution. Oh no. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Oh god, the jury is crazy. Order, 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 order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. God, it's loud. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. This conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Dude. To be continued. Oh man. That was heavy. So she just admitted that she forged evidence in that trial. And the jury went crazy. They started yelling. Judge could not keep it in order. That hit Edgeworth hard. Oh no. We gotta see what's happening now. Let's save. Investigation. We couldn't even conclude the trial because it was too chaotic. We just had to skip to investigation. Oh man. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Yep, she forged evidence. I didn't know. I never knew that the SO9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Jake Marshall's brother, yes. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. Oh, God, that is one scary picture. I don't like looking at that. What? He tried to kill you? Who? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. And paid the price for it. So that means you. Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Alright, let's talk about it. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? So what happened after the incident? I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana, when she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when all it started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Oh man, this is getting deep. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? That? Dude, Joe Dark's hair, the one with the knife, his hair looks like an onion. If you like curve his head like to the round bottom part of the onion and then like all the way up to the top, the dude has an onion head. I never noticed that. That was pretty funny. Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. The onion head is kidding me. I'm sorry, I don't know why this is so funny. Oh my god, I need to stop. Stop looking at his head. Ew. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Focus. I'm trying my hardest. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. Aw. There, that'll take my mind off of Onion Head. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana will never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Ugh. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her. Okay, so onward to the detention center, hopefully. God, she's probably not happy to see me. Hi. Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office? That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Yay! Tell me everything. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, which, not the least of which, was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. Detective Lana Skye. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Yo, look at that pic. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Yo, this looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. Skye and Gant. All day, every day at 7. Same time, same channel. Chief Gant. He was the deputy chief of the police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to his resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Okay. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means that the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force, which was Marshall, Starr, and his bro, and Goodman. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Gung-ho? What does that mean? Oh, God. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. First one at the scene. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run into the scene, Lana. It appeared so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Oh, that's not good. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all. Her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm? I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dart. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Okay. So that was some good stuff. She was a detective long ago. Where do I even go now? Do I go here? I want to check on Edgeworth. I wonder how he's doing. Oh, poor guy. No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Oh, man. Yeah, so I want to check on Edgeworth. Oh, poor dude. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned in by an inquiry committee? He took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later. Ah, no. Hold on, I want to go this way. Hi, prosecutor's office. Here, we'll go here. It's your boy, the Blue Badger, saving us all. Oh, what's up? Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Guess that you never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Pet cactuses, huh? Say, where you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary experience, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I need to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. A steak lunch? Oh, man. Dark trial. Oh. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That's what Joe's Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind? Prosecutor Marshall. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made a detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are y'all looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Man, scars. What are these scars? There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. Nah, they were careful enough to not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Huh. So, when Lana Skye and Damon Gant were firing and demoting people from that case. But why? The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Skye. Hey, Saturday morning cartoon. There wasn't a person on the force who hasn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret, it all started 2 years ago. Drink the drink. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. No, he took off he spat his bottle cap out. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. See you, Marshall. And there he goes into the sunset. Heading west forever. Well, criminal affairs, I suppose. This is the only place we haven't checked. This place is pretty empty, but today is deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Okay, I'm down. Chief's office. Oh my god. I think I stepped into Dracula's hall. With the big old organ. This ain't Phoenix, right? This is Castlevania. Oh my god. Whoa. Whoa. Where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. It's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius. Oh, I thought that Phoenix. Man, sometimes it's hard to get these. Oh, God. What just happened? I never could remember where C was. Oh, it's Gant. Yo.
Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Rado, have you been swimming lately?
Why do you always ask me about swimming? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's
provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there?
Aw. Legit.
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Gant team picture. Okay. Photo of the award ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Neil. It's cool. Anything else? Oh my god, why do you do this? Just speak.
Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case is long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Oh, dang. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. But how? How do we do that? Maybe it's in here? Yay, Gumshoe!
Hey, Bell.
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from saving everyone coffee.
Why? Sounds like Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Oh.
Say, have any of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No, why'd he ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle between you two in court.
That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth was the whole world after his blood.
Yikes. Alright, so let's talk then. Poor Edgeworth. I really do feel bad for him. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of making enemies.
Hey, Dick, keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat.
Yes, sir.
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir.
It seems you don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack.
Aw. SL9 incident.
Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack? You mean...
when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some bail.
Me? It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in there, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Alright. Dark's crimes.
Joe Doc was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed the man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed the lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
Yikes. He killed a child. Oh, man. This dude is crazy. Hey, he ain't no Jeffrey Dahmer, though. Trying to eat people after afterwards. Oh man, I remember reading that book too, and like I look up history on Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ugh, creepy. Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Oh, I thought that was Gumshoe. Man, I'm too hooked up on Jeff Dahmer to focus on this.
Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and waited his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Doc was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
That last witness, aka Emma. Dang. Alright, let's show him that knife then. Right here. Boop. About this.
Hey, is that...
It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Alright, what is it? The murder weapon. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive. Alright, Neil autopsy report. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Ow! A punctured heart and lung? So he was literally choking on blood. Ah, what a cruel thought. Alright, the broken tip was found in the victim's body. Belonged to the murderer, Joe Dark. Okay.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant.
It's not money, but it doesn't concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, Bill. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Well, let's move around then. Back to the police department? No. Oh yeah, we can't go into the evidence room. So, maybe Edgeworth is back. I don't know. Oh, Edgeworth, you better be here. Oh. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something. Edgeworth.
What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings.
So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Well, I want to check out that paper, though. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth.
Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on, first let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet.
Wow, unfazed. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says, letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. We could show Gumshoe. Oh, I know that. Oh, but he's saying he's gonna quit. No, all this pressure's getting to him. Excuse me. Oh, Star. Hello again. Food? Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kinda like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred that very day and the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Alright, let's talk then. Dark's investigation. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think it was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on the SL9 case. Of course, they were led by the legendary duo. Hey, every day at 7, same time, same channel. Lana and Chief Gant. Alright, after case closed. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious that evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. 'Cause she got fired. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so as much of an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Same time, same channel. Gant led the investigation, with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as though she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Oh, dang. So, they were feeling some type of way. Gee, I guess she must have changed drastically before she became a prosecutor. Being used. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position of chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Okay, so Lana's being used? Is that what's happening here? Lana's being... there's a mole in there? There's someone pulling the strings? Is that what's happening? Where's Gumshoe? Where'd the boy go? Where is that juicy boy? I guess we gotta talk to Edgeworth, because I actually didn't talk to him at all. So, let's talk. Yeah, forged evidence. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what all it breaks down to, and nothing I can do to erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond was broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, and my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same, no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth? I take pride in my work. So tell me why? Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Tomorrow's trial. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that the case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That's what really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture? Something seemed strange about it. The day of the crime. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodwin was murdered? You were participating in the ceremony over at the station, right? I never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this. Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on a ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning and drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, just clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Okay. Alright, so let's present the... not this, but... yeah, this. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that's bothering me. Yes? The trophy that Mr. Marshall's holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Okay, let's hear it. King of Prosecutors Trophy. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd and the second means shield. Have you heard of this story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell me it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Oh. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed that could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed to withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection! Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Wow. Can't believe he tried to rip him off like that. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. Alright, 2 years ago, the halberd was removed at Gant's behest, given it its current form. Alright. Okey-doke, so we just learned some stuff from Edgeworth. Poor dude. Police department with your boy, Blue Badger, Gumshoe. There he is.
Oh, you're back.
You still here?
I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. I'd be my neck on the line.
That office is the last crime scene of the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. I have to. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Well, how about this? There's gotta make him do something.
What's this crumpled up piece of paper?
Oh, he's reading it.
No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious.
Is he ever not serious?
I can't believe they pushed him this far.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him.
Detective.
That's it. I made up my mind.
But...
Here, take my ID card.
We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated.
What?
So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake.
Alright, Detective. Thank you. Aw. Thank you, Gumshoe. You're the best, you're the best. You are better than the rest. The Chief's Office. February 24th. Police Department Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. We are in like sin. Nice. Ooh, there's a safe over there. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner.
If that happens, I'm counting on you two to bail me out.
Eek!
Ah!
Smacked him again. He just like shows up from their faces. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
Ah! Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came to.
If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
Hey, don't do that to my card.
Oh, Gumshoe's the best.
I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
I got a bad feeling about this. Alright, let's examine. I want to check out everything. What's in this desk? Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier...
Oh, it's you two!
Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading.
This looks like a list of evidence.
A list of evidence?
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here.
Oh, hold on, Detective. What did you just say?
I said, I wonder what...
No, about evidence lists. Normally, they're twice as long.
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence. The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case! It would appear so. Alright, list of evidence in the SL9 incident was ripped in half, so this part is all I've got. Alright, let's check the safe. This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe? That void is ripe with intrigue.
Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. Wow. A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Do I? Wait, I have an idea. Input the number.
Do you know what it is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday. It's...
No, Gumshoe. I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. I know it. How do you put the code in? Here we go. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Oh, I knew it. Oh my god. Gant's behind this. Bingo. What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was it, Bill?
7777777. The final ID card number on the record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean 777777? That ID number?
I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Alright, I wanna check.
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look, it's a
shot from a broken cup.
This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. Oh, what's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. Alright, it's a handprint. This is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up that design?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? Is that all was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now.
A piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shot from a cup.
They look the pieces of the evidence. They look like pieces of evidence.
Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here.
Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. Let's see. How about, for the handprint, we could do fingerprinting. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this.
Hey, I know what that is. So, you want to take some fingerprints?
That's a great idea, Detective.
Alright, go to town. Sheesh.
What's happening? What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that?
Go ahead. Take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh? Come on, this is the...
Oh, I thought this was Gumshoe. Come on, this is the time for jokes. We're talking about the clock we found in the safe.
Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, what's your sense of humor?
Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check out for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth, then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. Which print do we do, though? I suppose this one. Here you go. Dust that baby. Sprinkle the cocaine. Always put the powdery stuff. This is how you always forensic science. You're doing it right. Mashing the button. So hard right now. Alright, blow it away. Not yet. Maybe a little more sprinkle sugar dust. Blue. Yeah, boy. Alright, whose handprint is this? Let's see. Not Mike's. Ain't Jake. Bruce, no. Gumshoe. Ain't Lana. Wait a minute. Why? No. Why is it hers? This isn't good. Match found. Oh no. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match! Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints.
Psst! Hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe?
Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now.
Yeah, maybe you should hold on to this.
Alright. Found in Chief Gant's safe. Evidence for something, but what? Bears Emma Sky's prints. That's not good. That really isn't good. Okay, one more. We'll do the jar, I think. Do I even have the jar? I do. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar?
I remember when the three of us put that back together. Those were the days.
It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this a jar piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of those shots had an S-Online incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found?
You mean this one? That was in the safe?
Yes, that one, but that was in the safe.
Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Assemble the fragment. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this.
Go ahead, Bill. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Alright, let's do it. Oh, I gotta flip it. There we go. Simple. There! It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But...
Hey guys, get a load of this!
What is it?
This piece you just attached is different from the others.
There's blood on it. Huh. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood.
I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Oh man, unstable jar. There's blood traces on it. Well, you know what? I think we found enough stuff. I think we're gonna consider it done in this episode, guys, of this investigation of Phoenix Wright. So, I'm gonna go ahead and save and consider it an episode. So, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Also, comment and subscribe to get new feed on videos and become a member of the Cuckoo Crew today. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter so you can recommend the video games you want me to play or chat, your preference. Also, if you subscribe, be sure to tap that bell to get notifications on videos so you'll never miss one from me ever again. But that's gonna be it from Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the next episode, we'll see what all this stuff about Gant hiding stuff is, and I think we haven't even talked to Gumshoe yet. Yeah, we haven't even talked to him yet. But we'll do that in the next episode, so I will see you then. Amateur out. Couldn't whistle.